Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon to our audience in Europe. Good evening in Asia, if anyone is in Asia and Australia watching. We are live for Sorgi Sports and More Weekend. Should we call that? I think it sounds right.
For this weekend, yeah.
Well, I think in general, we don't just talk sports.
Yeah.
We talk a lot of different stuff. So, absolutely. Just, we've got so much to discuss. Toll Road joining us. You woke up in time. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Dave and Kathy Hyde from Racine, Wisconsin. Real close to our hometown.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Go check out their series on West Virginia, the Toll Roads Travel Series as well.
Yes.
We've got a lot of traditions to discuss today.
Yes.
A couple specifically in the world of football, American football.
Yeah. We have America's game today in between Army and Navy. One of the most historic rivalries in all of sports.
Big time. Big time. Give us your thoughts on your favorite traditions, by the way, in the chat. Whether it's sports, all the different holidays that are coming up, et cetera, et cetera.
And then you also have the big rivalry in between our Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears tomorrow. That's going to be great as well.
While I take care of my weekly issue of technical difficulties, which usually have to do with my brain and setting something up, what makes Army-Navy America's game?
It's the two biggest military schools, both on the East Coast, and they played every year for a long time. And it's always just huge.
It's crazy in that it's a rivalry that is not anymore about teams that are the best in their sport.
Yeah.
The best in college football, as they used to be back in like the early to middle part of the 20th century.
Yeah. Army this year has come out surprisingly well. Navy, though, has struggled, and in recent years, they just haven't played great. It's been a lot of running, a lot of defense. It's not your modern football that you go on Sundays or Saturdays if you watch in the SEC or the NFL.
Toll Road mentioning, too bad the game is not being played in Philadelphia this year. The game is played usually in sort of a midpoint between the locations of the two service academies.
Yeah.
As Army is based in West Point, a little bit north and west of New York City.
Yeah.
And the Naval Academy is based in Annapolis, Maryland, which is south, I'd say a little bit east of Baltimore, close to Washington, D.C. as well. So the tradition of the game typically is that because they want all of the cadets and the midshipmen from Army and Navy, respectively, to be able to go to the game and to be able to take part in the traditional marching on the field beforehand, they play it at a neutral site midway, which is Philadelphia, which is where we live now.
Yeah. This year it's being played in East Rutherford, New Jersey, right across the river from New York City, which is the stadium, MetLife Stadium, where it's going to be played, is home to the Giants and Jets.
Wayside Wade joining us from as well, one of our fellow Wisconsinites.
Yes.
Thank you for chiming in and joining us after watching the previous live that we had just been on with Walking with Tamsin. Great channel from Scotland as well. A lot of nature that they love to focus on, nature and family experiences. Getting to the point of the meaning of this game. What makes this game so special, first of all, is the history behind it. This game involves two of the great historic programs of college football.
Yeah, and also there's also Air Force, but they're the two big military schools.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's called America's game, it's because those are the two teams that you might call America's schools.
In a lot of ways, and it's something special in a lot of different ways, because these, as much as we abhor war, as much as we never want to see this country go to war, these are young men and women who go to these service academies who are willing to say, I'm going to give my country a certain amount of years to be able to get an education, and I'm going to be willing to go into the military and be willing to die for all the people who live in this country in terms of its defense. And whether you agree or disagree with what a government chooses to do about choosing to go to war, there's something to be said about honoring the person who's willing to make that sacrifice. And what happens is with this game, you've got 85 guys on each side who have made that commitment. And these two, when they play, it is as fierce of a rivalry as it gets.
You got to put Army, Navy. That's probably the biggest rivalry in college football. You know, there's Bama, Auburn, Michigan, Ohio State, but Army, Navy is the biggest.
And the beauty of it, though, is that even though they can't stand each other for those 3 hours when they're on the football field, even though there's all this hype, go Army, beat Navy, go Navy, beat Army, and everyone has their side, you get the realization that even though these guys are on the field, are against each other in this game, and they put their spirit and their sweat and their tears sometimes, and sometimes their blood on the football field in a game of friendly strife, if you will, they could be side by side helping each other in war. And that's what makes this rivalry so meaningful, is that they're going to be on the same side potentially in terms of something that could put their life at stake, and they have to depend upon each other. And so I think it's a celebration of these young men and all the young men and women who are in these service academies. So it teaches America something about that sacrifice. Again, whether you agree or you disagree about why they play, about whether you should go to war or not, it's about honoring the people who are willing to make that sacrifice, and that is special. I would love to go to one of these games now that we live so close. I checked StubHub for tickets a few months ago. It's about $130 for cheap seats.
It's worth it, though. I'll say that.
It's worth it, but yeah, that's cash. So sometimes it can be hard to get a ticket. I'll have to see what the different ticket brokers would charge you now right before the game. It might be a lot cheaper, perhaps something special in that, or definitely something special to check out. So that, though, is the only college football game that's going on today, I think.
There's nothing really happening.
You know what? I'm incorrect, remember? Your godmama's team. Your godmother's team is playing today here in Philly.
We're talking about, well, when it comes to FBS, it's the only game, but in FCS, playoffs are going on. We have the Villanova Wildcats from right here in Philly playing the South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
I love that name, the Jackrabbits.
Nova's, of what I know, I don't watch FCS football, but it seems like Nova's been playing pretty well.
They are a traditional powerhouse at the FCS level, the Football Championship Series level, which is right below the Football Bowl Series level, the college football playoff level. And that's an entire episode of trying to explain what that means.
Confusing.
Let's go to some of our comments here. Wayside Wade mentioning Packers against the Bears, and we're going to get to that rivalry in a little bit. 1986, the Super Bowl shuffle era. That was when the Packers-Bears rivalry was at its perhaps bloodiest in modern times, because the Chicago Bears were the best and most physical team in football at the time. Which sickens you, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly.
And it sickens you.
I don't loathe the Bears as much as I think I loathe other teams. And yet the Green Bay Packers, their arch rival. Chicago's head coach, Mike Ditka, the ultimate stone-faced disciplinarian, rah-rah type of guy who didn't take guff from anybody, against Forrest Gregg, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, who was another gruff disciplinarian individual who didn't take guff from anybody. They couldn't stand each other. They could not stand each other. And there was so much fighting going on the field, on the sidelines. Did I ever tell you about the Charles Martin incident?
No.
1986, which is, I think, the reference you're getting to, Wayside Wade. Jim McMahon's playing quarterback for Chicago.
Yeah.
And he throws an interception. Charles Martin, defensive lineman for the Packers, takes him, bear hugs him like this, and slams him down on his shoulder, breaks his shoulder, and he's never the same quarterback ever again. It wasn't a career-ending injury. It was a career-affecting injury. It was a cheap shot.
Man.
And after that, the cameras that focused on the sidelines were focusing on his towel. And it had the number 9, number 34 for Walter Payton, and other players from Chicago whose goal it was for him to knock them out of the game. That's just dirty.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers are our team, but that's just dirty.
Yeah.
That's just wrong.
Yeah. The Packers usually aren't that dirty. And
no.
I know that you don't love the Bears as much as I do, but you gotta think about this. The Bears and Packers have been rivals since the 20s, 30s. And if there's I loathe them, the Bears and Vikings equally, but I would say I want to beat the Vikings more. I can't stand them equally, but I would rather beat the Vikings, and because the Bears, there's most times not a worry about losing to them because, they're Bears.
Bears. They have their ownership. We've discussed this before, but their ownership is some of the worst in the National Football League because they keep hiring bad coaches and bad general managers who can't put a good team together. Since the current ownership took the helm after the death of George Halas, all the coaches and all the GMs they've hired since that point have won a total of 4 playoff games in 29 years, 0 championships.
Wow.
That's just bad. That's just bad. Toll Road. You had mentioned Ohio State, Michigan, you being from OHIO.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was talking about the general rivalry, not this year.
Yeah, but that's the that I think is the most bloodthirsty rivalry along with Alabama-Auburn.
I love watching that game. No matter what year it is, usually Ohio State wins.
Yes. Congratulations, Michigan, on finally getting it done and getting into the college football playoff. Dave and Kathy Hyde, 2010, talking about the best year between the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears.
That was the best year.
Out of 200 plus times that the two oldest teams, actually no, they're not the two oldest teams in the National Football League, but the two most historic teams in the National Football League have been playing. They've only played in the postseason twice. 1941, a Western Conference playoff game where the teams were tied at the end of the year, and back at the time, they decided tiebreakers by playing a tie-breaking game, which I love.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Except the Packers got creamed that day. I think it was something like 41-13.
And what year is this?
1941. It was 33-6 or some just obnoxiously bad score. And the Bears went on to win the championship. That was when George Halas's Bears were in their heyday.
Papa Bear.
And then, 2010, Chicago wins the NFC North Division. The Packers just barely eke themselves in to the last wild card seed in 2010, just barely make the playoffs. They had to beat the Bears in the last regular season game to do it, number one. And so the Packers have to go on the road and play every playoff game that year. They can't play at Lambeau Field because they have the worst record of any playoff team in the NFC. They come to this city, Philadelphia. They beat Philly and Michael Vick.
Michael Vick was a great quarterback.
They go down to Atlanta, the top seed in the NFC, Matt Ryan and company, who were just tearing up teams.
Matt, they were really good.
Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers down there and plays the best game of his career.
Yeah.
He only missed 5 passes that day. Most of those he threw out of bounds on purpose to avoid sacks. He threw for 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for another touchdown. I mean, any student of the game who's watched his career, just if you watch the eye test, that may have been one of the greatest days of quarterbacking in the history of football.
Yeah.
And the Packers won like 48-21 in Atlanta. Then they go into Chicago. Think what would happen for you sports fans out there. Imagine if Ohio State, Michigan was a national college football national championship semifinal game.
Yeah.
Or Yankees, Red Sox to go to the World Series.
Yeah. Which has happened.
Or Tampton, if you're watching. Imagine your team in the Scottish Premier League. Hearts versus Hibs. To decide the Scottish Premier League championship, or even better, a semi-final match in Champions League. That's how big this game was. The Packers going down to Chicago. And Aaron Rodgers stunk it up that day. He had a bad day. He threw 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. The defense carried them.
Yeah.
The defense had a spectacular day. B.J. Raji, a guy built like me, intercepted Caleb Haney, the Bears' backup quarterback.
I love B.J. Raji.
For a pick 6 that essentially put away that NFC Championship game. Put the Packers in the Super Bowl, and they won it 2 weeks later against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And they went to the White House.
Yes, a la Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
What does that story mean? Because most of our audience doesn't know.
Barack Obama, former president, Bears fan, wasn't he thinking about going? Wasn't he going to go to the Super Bowl if the Bears won?
He was going to go to Arlington, Texas, and watch that Super Bowl in person if the Bears won. But not if the Packers win.
So Packers win, and Charles Woodson said, if he ain't going to come to us, we're going to go to him. We go into the White House.
In the locker room, he's like, President Obama doesn't want to come and see us play in the Super Bowl. We'll go see him. And they chant, 1, 2, 3, White House.
Nice.
And, of course, they won the Super Bowl. And, of course, they go visit President Obama. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Charles Woodson, Obama says, yeah, don't mess with Charles Woodson. And Woodson gives him a share of Green Bay Packers stock. And Obama's then like, yeah, now as one of your owners, I actually propose a trade for Aaron Rodgers to the Chicago Bears. I'm like, no, can't do it. Can't do it.
Hey, what's up at American Football Network? That's
Thank you for joining us.
Clemson running down one of the greatest traditions in college football.
Oh, the toll road. That day sounds like he was Pabst ice cold. I have not drunk a Pabst beer in I don't know how long. I don't drink a lot of beer. I probably drink maybe 1 or 2 a month.
Yeah.
Just because I drink, but not anywhere near that level. But so if I'm going to drink, it's going to be the good stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got a lot of good beer from Wisconsin that's here that I'll use for that. And then saying Aaron Rodgers was bratwurst hot that day. Beautiful reference.
For sure.
By the way, the Philadelphia Christmas market is going on right now by City Hall. Mm-hmm. If you go check out the channel JL Jupiter, I found this yesterday. He is a huge Philadelphia YouTuber, food YouTuber. Mm-hmm. They have a bratwurst stand that apparently could be as good as the stuff we have back home.
Nice.
We may be going there. We may be checking that out today.
American Football Network saying, "Go Army, beat Navy." Army's gonna win the game, as you probably know, but I'm on the side. We're both on the side of Navy just because of family. Everyone has their family connection.
Wayside Way, thank you for joining us, by the way, so much. Thank you for chatting with us. A blast to see you here. Yes. Today's a day of a bunch of premieres on Saturday. It's a very busy day in the YouTube world. So go definitely check him out after us. Go back and check out his content. Dave and Kathy mentioning to us, upon further review, the Bears still SGCK.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay if you use that word if you're talking about straws. So, but that references another great Packers-Bears game memory. 1989, 20 years before you were a thought, let alone born.
Yeah.
Mike Ditka's heyday. The Bears are still a very competitive team. The Packers are coming back to their own prominence with Don Majkowski as quarterback. Mm-hmm. They're playing at Lambeau Field. They play the Chicago Bears. The Bears have a lead, 13-7. 4th and goal from the 14 with like 15 seconds left. Majkowski delivers a touchdown pass to Sterling Sharp. Yep. Rifles it into the end zone. At first glance, the referees thought that Majkowski stepped over the scrimmage line. Because for those who don't know, in American football, if you throw a pass from in front of the line of scrimmage, it's against the rules.
Yeah.
The line where the play begins. So referees thought that he did that. But that was the first time they really used instant replay for a call that would decide the game. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you check it out. And so they spent like 3 minutes figuring this out. And they eventually ruled, nope, he wasn't over the line of scrimmage. So they made the call. After further review, we have a reversal. Touchdown. Packers win.
Yep.
And there's a funny story about how Mike Singletary was talking trash to him, the Chicago Bears Hall of Fame linebacker, talking trash to Don Majkowski, and about the fact the Bears were going to win the game. And then the call comes, and all Majkowski does is turn to Singletary and give him a little wink, and then celebrates with his teammates.
Score. What's your score prediction for Packers Bears?
Oh, Packers Bears score prediction. Jeez.
Justin Fields, of what I saw, is playing.
I'm going to say 34-14.
I'm taking the Packers 38-13.
Okay.
Or no. Ooh, that's hard. I don't know how much I trust Mason Crosby. That's tough. I don't know how much I trust Crosby. We'll say 35-38 to 13. Somewhere around there.
That neck of the woods definitely sounds fun. Definitely sounds fun for us.
Yes.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers trying to find their way to becoming the top seed of the NFC in order to put themselves in position to win the Super Bowl.
Packers win out. Cardinals lose. Bang. And
what's Tampa Bay's record?
Same as ours, but I think that we still, as long as we win out, Cardinals lose. Get it.
I don't think so. I believe it goes to net point differential.
I thought we had the tiebreaker over Tampa, and I don't know how NFL stuff works, but I'm pretty sure that yeah. Oh, also speaking of the Cardinals and Packers, who they both played the Lions this year.
Mm-hmm.
Take a guess how many things have to happen for the Lions to make the playoffs.
382.
37. 37 games.
Okay, I threw an extra digit.
To go. The Lions have to win out, meaning they have to beat the Cardinals and Packers. And they have to have a whole bunch of other things to happen. So yeah. Not happening. Yeah, and they're probably going to get the number 1 pick.
Exactly. We've got a lot more to discuss, though. This is the holiday season.
Yes.
Christmas time. And all of the 27 holidays or so that are celebrated around the range between Thanksgiving and the end of the Christmas season in so many different churches, which really extends until February, if you think about it. We could have an entire discussion on what all of those are. There's a long list.
Yeah, I only know 2.
But there are a load of different holidays, load of different traditions. What are yours? Tell us the ones that you love to involve yourself in, that are part of your family, that are part of your experience every year, that is just so tied to what these holidays mean for you around this time of year.
Or as AFM put in, sports traditions. Any kind of tradition.
That's true. That is true. Um, I'm thinking about, for example, with Christmas within our family. Well, when I grew up,
Mm.
your Nana, my mom, would always. I mean, we would always have just a regular tree. Now we have a fake tree.
Yeah, we have a fake tree.
And it's this. It was this $400 tree that we got for $70 at a Meyer store back in Milwaukee on closeout. That is just ridiculously beautiful. If you go back on Instagram, you can find it. And you gave it an interesting name,
Rasho Nesterovich,
which I'm still trying to figure out why.
I just thought it was funny.
It is funny. It is funny. Do you name your tree? And what would you name your tree?
We just did that for really no reason. I think it came up of. I don't know if it was anonymous. Someone was like, "So what are we gonna name it?" And I said Rasho Nesterovich, and it stuck.
Toll Road mentioning a tradition that is for so many people on Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's or or Hanukkah or the different holidays all throughout this time, saying that sadly your tradition is going to work. Working in radio, I get that one. I worked so many Thanksgivings, so many Christmases, so many New Year's. I'm going to be working New Year's Day this year. Thankfully, I've got Christmas off.
Yeah.
And I have Thanksgiving off to be able to share it with this little man and with the Anonymity upstairs and with those who we love. And we're going to be able to do that again this year. We're planning on West Virginia for Christmas this year. A lot of traditions that come about for the holidays. Hi, Scott and Michelle. Great seeing you.
Yes.
A lot of those great traditions involve food. And, for example, turkey at Thanksgiving. So many of us think about that.
Yeah.
But, like in our family, have I ever showed you spadini?
I think I don't remember what it is, but I know what it is, I think.
It is very thin Sicilian steak with breadcrumbs and cheese and herbs.
Steak?
Yeah.
Oh.
Although you can make it with chicken. I've had chicken spadini too.
Then I didn't know that. I thought it was just kind of pasta.
Yeah. But it is this traditional Sicilian Italian food. That is like the one time, the holidays are the one time that my mom, your Nana, would make it. And our relatives would just attack it. Just absolutely attack it. None left at the end of the day. That and the one traditional recipe from our family that I've learned that I make well. Arancini, rice balls.
I want those so bad right now. I've been craving them.
Oh my gosh.
I'm always craving rice balls and cheese curds.
Yes. Tell us what your favorite traditional holiday food is for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, for whatever it is you celebrate. Tell us that. Dave and Kathy mentioning we celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, which only begin December 25th. Good Catholics here, but we celebrate them in Arizona. Good move.
I love Arizona.
Good move. We love Arizona. Go check out our videos from when we were in Arizona on our Brewers West Coast road trip.
And especially, sometimes it can get cold at night in the winter, but it's much better than Wisconsin. Much better than Wisconsin.
It can get cold. It can get really cold.
Here, we actually haven't had snow yet, and it's been really nice. I've actually enjoyed it.
And today, by the way,
it's getting up to almost 70.
I am wearing shorts.
Yeah, I've got sweatpants on, but I'm wearing a t-shirt.
We are wearing shorts in Philadelphia and going to a Christmas market in December.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
It's crazy.
Bonkers. Traditions that people sometimes have are doing funny, silly skits with their family or going to their different houses around the neighborhood and singing Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Trying to imagine if you...
I think I did that once when I was a little kid. I did not enjoy it.
It's fun.
I do not like singing consistently because it's because my voice hurts after a little bit.
Scott and Michelle, broccoli, cheese, casserole, yes. Oh my gosh, my mother-in-law, your Mimi, makes a fantastic broccoli, rice, cheese casserole. That's so
it is.
good. So good. Yeah, you even like it, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really?
I thought you did.
Maybe. I don't remember.
So those are very cool. Absolutely. And now we also have to mention travel destinations. We always do this every time we go live.
Yes. Today it is E.
Where have you gone? Favorite travel destinations that begin with E.
Where do you want to go? Usually I do research on this. I didn't do it this week, but I have thought of 3: Ethiopia, Egypt, and Estonia.
Egypt really interests me.
Yes.
The history of the pharaohs and of the pyramids and the Sphinx, and checking out so many of the historical sites of that era, and just how the different movements of the religions of human history in that particular country are just amazing to check out. You ever want to see a fantastic view of Estonia? Very interesting country. I really suggest you go to the site, to the YouTube channel, Tide Not Travelers, and that's with 2 L's.
Yeah, TKT. They're awesome.
Yes. Craig and Kirsty are amazing. They wanted to start doing world travel and YouTubing about it back in March of 2020. March 1st, 2020 was when they began. And one of the first places they went to was Estonia. Then that COVID thing hit.
Yeah, that was a bad time to start. But who knew?
Exactly. No one knew.
Yeah.
So they decided that for pretty much most of the rest of 2020, they were just going to live in Estonia. And they turned into an English language tour guide, if you will, for the nation of Estonia. They were going like all around every nook and cranny of that country, finding the cool stuff there. They are great storytellers, great video storytellers.
Yeah.
And they're continuing their travels around a lot of Europe and the rest of the world. That's definitely a channel to check out.
Trying to think of cities in America with E.
There aren't many. There are not many. El Paso, Texas.
Oh, I didn't think El Paso. Yeah.
Go check out the Sun Bowl football game right before New Year's Day. Of course, Silver Mountain joining us. England, of course.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, does England count?
England is a nation within a country or country within a nation.
Yeah.
Those who live there could probably set us straight on what that means.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would count.
Oh,
but yeah, England.
Tons and tons of history in England to check out. We could spend a month in London and not touch half the stuff that we would want to know. Talking about another city I'd love to go to. Those who watch Walking with Tamsin would know about this one. Edinburgh.
Edinburgh,
Scotland.
I know that. That's not far from Glasgow. Home to Celtic FC. Go Celtic.
Yes, absolutely. Although remember, I think Tamsin's a Hearts fan. He may not like you for that. That's okay. Hey. That's okay. Who cares? It's all good.
I have nothing against the Hearts.
Not at all.
I'm just learning Scottish Premier League. I'm just starting to learn. I knew about Celtic and Rangers.
That's a ridiculous rivalry.
I don't know much else.
That's because most of the world doesn't know much else.
Yeah, I was in school. We've been doing some Europe stuff. I was part of a project on Scotland, so I've been kind of learning a little bit about Scottish soccer. But yeah.
Of course, there are a bunch of towns in America and a bunch of towns in any English language city that begin with East something.
Oh yeah.
Like East LA. As an example,
East New Haven. I think that might actually be a city.
So all of you probably
Providence, East Milwaukee. No,
there's no East Milwaukee
because that's like
Michigan. You ever been to a town that begins with East? Yeah. Tell us what it is.
I'm trying to think of other towns.
One place to check out that is somewhat close to where some of our other YouTube followers live is Edmonton. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Yes.
They have a ridiculously huge mall there.
They have the Oilers.
That's the thing.
Hockey.
Oilers hockey. Wayne Gretzky turned that town into the hockey capital of the planet.
Yes.
Greatest hockey player of all time, making that place, just the envy of the hockey world for a decade.
Yeah.
Just and putting them on the world map in so many different ways. Definitely, definitely recommend traveling there if you ever want to catch hockey. Just do it when it's not ridiculously cold, because that makes Milwaukee and Wisconsin look balmy. So, I mean, they probably wear shorts when it's 20, if it gives you an idea.
Yeah, I'm so, but for real, I'm so glad to be down here now. It's so much warmer.
It is so much warmer.
I've only worn my winter coat one day.
Well, that's going to change, I bet. We're going to get some cold days.
I wore it this week, and that's the first time I've actually worn it at recess. So.
Dave and Kathy mentioning it accurately, not the right time of year to go to Edmonton.
Summer,
and
fall, spring.
And if you go to Edinburgh, by the way, if you go to England, there is not as dramatic of a temperature change as there is in the United States, even though they're more north, because they have the Atlantic effect.
Yeah, they do. The ocean right there.
Their winters, and if we're talking Fahrenheit temperatures, you're talking close to like, say, 35, 40 degrees, so just above 0 Celsius during the winter, but it rarely gets above like 75 Fahrenheit here in the U.S. So it's definitely a good climate if you're not looking for something that is that has a huge amount of variance, huge amount of change.
Just thought of a place. It's not really a place, but we were talking to Army Navy. Eastern Michigan starts with an E.
The University of Eastern Michigan. Yes. What does that have to do with Army and Navy?
College football.
Oh,
that's all. I was just thinking of places, things that start with E. I'm like, Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Illinois, I believe, was the home of Tony Romo.
Yes, Eastern. I don't know if that's true, but I love their logo.
Adventures to Scott and Michelle mentioning the Thomas Edison homes near Sandusky, Ohio, and Fort Myers, Florida. Also, there's, I think, a Thomas Edison museum. I forget if it's in New York or New Jersey. We looked it up for our New York game plan series.
We did? Okay.
We didn't put it in there, but we looked it up, and
that was more than 6 months ago. So yeah, I don't remember much.
It goes out of memory, Brian. I don't blame you for that. 100%. But another town, if you like Irish and Gaelic culture, Ennis, Ireland. Can you repeat that? It is a town in County Clare in Ireland, which if you live in Milwaukee, live in Wisconsin, County Clare,
that's where I've heard of it.
I recommend that hotel, bed and breakfast, and restaurant and pub. Any time.
Food is awesome.
Anytime you ever travel. In fact, the first time your mommy met me, she was staying in Milwaukee. That's where she stayed.
Yeah.
Love that place. Love that place. So I definitely recommend it. But Ennis, Ireland is the home of the second biggest Irish music festival in Ireland. I believe it's every May. Go there. It's a blast.
And the largest is in?
I'm talking about in Ireland.
Oh.
The largest music festival of Irish music in America is in our hometown in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Irish Fest. Though I'm sure we'll find some fantastic evidence of great Irish music and Irish pubs here on the East Coast.
Who knows? It could be bigger in Ireland. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it's bigger.
When it comes to people.
I am sure it is bigger.
But in America, it's probably the biggest Irish Fest.
Last listing of great traditions. What are some of the great traditions of the holidays that you have? Some of the great traditions of anything that you and your family love to do?
Yeah.
Tell us real quick in the chat. We're just going to give you a little preview here of what's coming up. On Tuesday, we're going to be sharing a very special experience that we had for this kid's birthday.
Yep. We went to a certain place.
Certain place with a lot of tall buildings.
Yeah. And it was our first time going to that place.
It was special.
Yeah.
It was, and I mean,
yeah.
Maybe the most special of our day trips that we've ever taken in our lives. In so many ways.
I wouldn't say it's probably not the most special trip because I gotta say that Brewers no hitter was pretty special.
Right, but a day trip.
Day trips.
Absolutely. So check that out on Tuesday. It will come out. I believe we have it scheduled for the morning time. I'm gonna have to double check that. Morning time, Eastern time. I will double check when that's released. So 100% recommend that. Absolutely. And Toro, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
He just had his birthday. This is a fun time of year for us.
Yeah,
it's your birthday.
Our birthdays are around the same time. I had mine a couple weeks ago.
I recently had mine. You had, you've got Thanksgiving in that spot. You got Christmas and all the holidays that are all involved.
Yeah,
it's a blast.
So that's part of why we didn't stream that week is because it's Thanksgiving and that week is also my birthday, so it's always busy.
We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna be doing when it's Christmas Day, because Christmas Day is a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
But we will have a stream next Saturday morning. I think this is a good time.
Yeah, probably. I don't. Who knows?
Absolutely. We are gonna plan on it at least. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. What'd you just say?
Dante DiVincenzo is coming back.
One of the great Milwaukee Bucks, Dante DiVincenzo, a guy from Philadelphia who went to Villanova. He is returned to the Milwaukee Bucks. By the way, a fantastic win last night for the Bucks against the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, I was just looking at the screen, looking at comments, and I saw Dante DiVincenzo. Oh, yeah, he's coming back Wednesday, which makes me really happy because we've missed him on the team.
So the Bucks, with that win, they broke the Rockets' 7-game winning streak. Just beautiful.
Yep.
Team. They're getting back into gear.
Quick talking about NBA, Steph Curry today could break the 3-point record.
Arguably the greatest outside shooter in the history of basketball. Yeah. He and Larry Bird are like neck and neck in that category.
Right now, Ray Allen holds it.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Steph needs 10.
10 3-pointers.
Right here in Philly, it could happen.
Making 10 3-pointers in a game?
He's done it after. He did it last time he was here, I'm pretty sure. One of the last times he was here, he did it.
I would not be shocked if they just keep feeding him the ball that way he can break that record.
Yeah.
That would be
He's a talent.
bonkers. All of you, thank you for stopping in.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I think everyone we've seen comment has.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely hit the subscribe button. Check out our content, our different travel series, our sports discussions. We've gone all over America.
Yeah.
Following our favorite teams and just experiencing what all these different places have meant to us.
Yeah.
And what such cool things we've been able to do that we recommend you do on your travels throughout the United States, hopefully someday internationally.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are going to be getting ready and closer for Christmas here in this house.
This weekend, we'll probably be putting up stuff. Finally, it's been crazy. We wanted to do it earlier.
Yeah, but we're going to get to it today. And
yeah.
We're the type, by the way, that goes the whole length of Christmas.
Oh yeah, we go through January.
And keeping it up, because the Christmas celebration actually is supposed to go that long, if you think about it. If you think about it, especially if you talk in, for example, our faith Catholic circles, you celebrate it that long, and you can. So don't worry about it if you keep the tree up too long and the decorations too long. It's okay. It is okay. And meanwhile, we're going to be doing all that preparation and fun in shorts.
Yeah.
Not weather.
And watching the Army-Navy game.
Absolutely. I'm probably going to be rooting for Navy because we had more relatives who were in the Navy than the Army. But kudos, again, to both sides in this greatest of American sports traditions.
Yes. See you, Toll Road, and
have fun coaching that girls' team.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Get that win.
So we will catch all of you soon. We're going to have our next video coming out on Tuesday, and we will be checking out all of your stuff as well. Our commenters. Thank you so much, YouTubers. What you do is fantastic. We love it.
Yeah. So long from Sorgi Story Studios in Philadelphia. Go Navy!